push. To remember all them time in the pond, catching black crabs, oh, till the break of dawn. I think I'll say that again. Remember all them times in the pond, catching black crabs till the break of dawn. Now if I ask you one and one, you don't know what it is. Say if I ask you one and one, you don't know what it is. Oh, oh, let me tell you why. You're mine, no good bar. You're mine, no good bar. Won't you help me say it like this? You're mine, no good bar. One more time. You're mine, no good bar. Hey, let the music play. Hey, let's go. Come on, higher level, give them that music. Come on, ha. Music, ha. Music, ha. Music, ha.
Let's go. We're gonna do some KB right now about y'all. KB, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go.
Let's go. Y'all better be as sweaty as me. Let's go. Come on. 1, 2, 3.
Say, you're looking mighty sexy. The way you shake that funky guy. You're screaming like a banshee. I can hear you all the way from town. You're making me go crazy. The way you shake that funky guy. Come on, Anya. You're gone and call me lazy. I can feel it going through my back. Girl, you're whining. You're whining. You're whining. You're whining, yeah. You're whining. You're whining. You're whining, yeah. Let's go.
First one. Come on. Give me. First one. Come on. Hey. First one. Oh, slow it down. Listen, y'all better be as well as me.
Break it down for a sec. Break it down. Say, you're whining. You're whining. You're whining. You're whining. Come on, if you're all at home, come on. Get that wine on. Get that wine on. One more time. Do it again. Do it again. You're whining. You're whining. You're whining. You're whining, yeah. You're whining. You're whining.
Tonight, unions sounding off on a proposed bi-weekly pay for the public service. We've got reaction tonight. This as officers are expected to face charges over police-involved killings. And later, if you haven't gotten your Christmas tree as yet, vendors say there's a tree shortage. We've got that story. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janae Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. While the government's push to finalize a transition to a bi-weekly pay system is facing growing pushback as union members raise concern about what they say has been a lack of transparency. While some workers say they've been left in the dark on some critical details, a former labor director is praising the move tonight, even amid the uncertainty surrounding its implementation. Laurencia Smith has the details.
As government works to iron out the details of its plans to roll out the bi-weekly pay cycle for government workers, former labor director and unionist John Pinder is weighing in. Pinder says while he supports government's intention to transition public servant workers to a bi-weekly payment schedule, he emphasized the need for careful execution to ensure a smooth process.
I think the challenge is most civil servants have monthly commitments, and they have to now discipline themselves to ensure that they meet those monthly commitments. My recommendation then is, if the government and the unions agree to the bi-weekly payments, they will then have to sit with the payroll office and determine when they want the full monthly payment to be paid. This is an advantage of also because they pay their monthly commitments 2 weeks in advance, It should keep them ahead of the payments, and they'll be able to save some funds at the end of the day.
Back in June, during the budget, Prime Minister Philip Davis revealed government's plans to transition to a bi-weekly pay cycle. Now, government is presently negotiating with unions on the implementation of the bi-weekly pay system for all public servants. Pinder also voiced concern about whether government employees will be able to manage their finances effectively under the new pay cycle, stressing the importance of proper budgeting to ensure financial stability.
The more money you spend, the more you pay for goods and services. So government is not going to exploit the civil servants by giving them more monies, knowing that some of them are not disciplined enough to manage their money even monthly, much less bi-weekly. So I think this whole thing needs to be probably thought out. I think there needs to be some bit of advice given to the civil servants by way of some level of
Meanwhile, the Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson has expressed deep concern and frustration over what she says is government failure to provide answers regarding its proposed plan to switch teachers to a bi-weekly pay cycle. Wilson condemned the lack of transparency, says that government silence on the matter is unacceptable, leaving educators in a state of uncertainty. She stressed that teachers deserve respect and clarity, especially when it comes to decisions that directly impact their livelihoods.
So many civil servants have contacted me over the past few days, expressing their frustration, their displeasure, and their opposition to being paid bi-weekly. As for the Bahamas Union of Teachers, from earlier this year, we conducted a survey, and our members who participated in the survey overwhelmingly voted not to be paid bi-weekly and for their salary payments to remain monthly.
Wilson also alleged that Financial Secretary Simon Wilson has not been forthcoming with information about the proposed switch and has called for Minister of Finance, Prime Minister Philip Davis, to intervene. Well, in response to Wilson's claims, the Minister of Labor and Public Service, Pia Glover Roll, noted that the Ministry of Finance is expected to meet with the unions on Tuesday, December 17th. She further stated that if there is verifiable facts that employees are against the move, she's certain the government will be prepared to comply with the public servant's wishes. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, the trial for a number of officers who the coroner's court says unjustly killed a number of young men dating back nearly a decade ago will soon be underway. This as those officers made their initial appearances in the Supreme Court, marking what aggrieved relatives say could be continued strides of justice. Our Jose Etienne has the details.
The wheels of justice seemingly turning for the parents of murdered individuals who the coroner's court says were wrongfully killed by police. Corporals Dennis Sturrup, D'Angelo Roll, and Sergeants Anton Sweeting and Jamal Johnson were summoned to the Supreme Court, where they were formally charged with manslaughter before Senior Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson. Sturrup is the officer who wrongfully shot and killed 15-year-old Gino Finley Jr. in 2017. Finley was a 10th grade student who police accused of being a suspect in a reported armed robbery at the QVS store in the Seagrapes Plaza that authorities were responding to. The other three officers are said to be authorities who wrongfully opened fire on Azario Major in December 2021. Major was gunned down outside Woody's Bar on Fire Trail Road. All four officers pled not guilty, and as a result, Sturrup's trial is set for the end of May before Grant Thompson. The remaining three are scheduled to appear before the Supreme Court on December 18th for a fixture hearing. Sturrup is being charged just 5 months after the coroner's court ruled that the fatal shooting of the teen boy was homicide by manslaughter. The Major family also asserting that they were vindicated after getting that ruling in May 2023. But both families were concerned that their matters were hanging in the balance as the court had yet to speak on whether or not charges would be levied against the officers. Things seemed to be at a standstill until September of this year when National Security Minister Wayne Monroe broke his silence on the inquest, subsequently causing the wheels of justice to turn.
The Coroner's Act speaks quite clearly about what is to happen at the Coroner's Court. And the Commissioner of Police isn't involved in the process at all, nor is the DPP. So I'm not quite sure what is happening.
Shortly after, the coroner summoned over a dozen officers to court, Months later, 4 of them are facing charges following a review of the evidence by the Director of Public Prosecutions. Some of the officers have seemingly walked off scot-free and others are still in hiding, one of them being former police officer Shando King, who has yet to be found after he forcibly removed his anklet monitoring system. King was condemned by the courts for unlawfully killing Valentino Johnson in April 2023. It is suspected that King absconded while on Supreme Court bail for 4 counts of attempted murder and other related charges. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
From the crime beat tonight, police are investigating the circumstances surrounding a suicide attempt that occurred on Sunday involving an adult female. Initial reports indicate that shortly after 7 p.m., a 25-year-old woman allegedly ingested a chemical liquid while at a home on Winds Lane. As a result, emergency medical services transported the victim to hospital for further medical attention and evaluation. Investigations tonight remain ongoing. Meantime, an investigation is also underway into an armed robbery incident that occurred on Sunday sometime around 7:30 p.m. in the southern New Providence area. Police say a motorist was robbed by 3 gunmen as he attempted to avoid a pothole. According to preliminary reports, the victim was driving on Bonefish Pond area, that's off of Cowpen Road, when he reportedly slowed down to avoid a pothole, police said. It's at that moment that an unknown male armed with a firearm emerged from a nearby bush, approached the victim's vehicle, and held him at gunpoint. In addition, 2 other unknown males then appeared from the same area. They blocked the victim's path while the gunman robbed him of cash, according to investigators. The culprits then reportedly fled the scene through the bushes, according to authorities. Anyone with information regarding this incident, you're asked to contact 911-919 or the Criminal Investigation Department at 502-9991. You can also call Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. On to some other news tonight. Officials from the Davis administration on the defense as government continues to be pounded for taking a legislative approach to address corruption concerns in the country. A recently introduced bill in the lower chamber is not what critics have been calling for. However, officials maintain that it's the right move. Jose Etienne joining me live in studio to further discuss. Jose?
Janelle, in light of what some might describe as a blistering United States indictment, the Davis administration has pledged to address alleged corruption in the country's armed forces and government with the help of the Independent Commission of Investigations bill that officials say would root out corruption at every turn. But this is not exactly what the opposition and other critics have been calling for. In fact, they want a commission of inquiry. That's something Davis called for on several occasions when he served as opposition leader. So why is the Prime Minister not going with something he previously called for on a number of issues?
Is the taxpayers prepared to spend $10 million for that level of investigation? These things are very costly.
The Davis administration's spokesperson, Latre Raming, explaining why Prime Minister Philip Davis opted not to go with a commission of inquiry to investigate alleged corrupt practices said to be deep-rooted in law enforcement groups and government on the heels of a United States indictment that levied drug and weapon-related charges against Bahamian law enforcement officials. This as Davis also previously asserted that a commission of inquiry is simply too expensive. But some argue that Davis has reneged, given that he was once a big proponent for commissions of inquiry into a number of issues when he served as opposition leader. Case in point, 4 years ago, Davis called on the Minnis-led administration to launch a commission of inquiry into events surrounding Hurricane Dorian as he ripped governing officials over their handling of the storm's aftermath.
The Prime Minister have not ruled out further inquiries on matters pertaining to the pandemic or the Hurricane Dorian. But the singular question is, are there other options that the government could look at?
Since that indictment was unsealed, the opposition has been lobbying for a commission of inquiry, but Raming insists that it simply won't get the job done.
We have a permanent fixture, which will become the establishment of the Independent Commission of Investigation, which is going to be permanent. That's going to go on going to be enshrined in law. That will go on forever to ensure that if issues arise again, or either in the past or current days, or you have a commission of inquiry that produce a singular report, all right, and only speaks to a singular event.
Here's another downside to a commission of inquiry, according to Ramming.
Persons who participate in a commission of inquiry, their testimony cannot be part of evidence.
So, to make it plain,
the responsible and the right thing to do is to create an independent body that let the Customs Department know, let the Immigration Department know, let the Prison Department, the Police Department, the Defense Department, that there is a body above you, above the Commissioner, above the Commodore, that's ensuring that you are serving to the oath that you swore to protect.
at a press conference with the opposition last week, Pintard suggested that the proposed bill isn't a bad idea after all, but he says it's simply not enough.
That should not serve as a substitute for a commission of inquiry.
Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis also sharing a similar view.
A commission of inquiry will get to the bottom of all those black eyes and all the irregularities and negativities that occur in our country. At the end of commission of inquiry, you can decide who should be prosecuted.
But here's how Ramming summed up the opposition's views.
I think that it's a political proposition that the opposition sees as a part of their talking points. I don't think that there's a much more comprehensive view beyond it, because if we're talking about achieving the investigation into the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the thing that's being proposed in Parliament achieved the exact same objective.
Now, Janea, we know that piece of legislation is up for public consultation at this time. From there, governing lawmakers hope to table it to begin the first step of investigating and hopefully stamping out corruption in government agencies. Reporting live in studio, I'm Jose Etienne, sending it back to you, Janea.
Thanks so much for that report, Jose. Meantime, the government is still awaiting the finalization of funds for some family island airports and their renovation projects. This comes as the Davis Cooper administration introduced its Airport Renaissance program in a bid to redevelop and modernize airports on the various islands. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Aviation and Investments, Chester Cooper, are assuring reporters that the wait will soon be over for islands in need of some much-needed upgrades.
All of the airports are progressing well, and again, all of them will start soon. This is a great initiative. This has been a very aggressive approach to developing infrastructure. We're not only advancing Grand Bahama, which is often the subject of conversation, but Exuma, Georgetown, Black Point Exuma, Long Island, Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera is going to get new runways, and we are in the process of finalizing funding on all of them. It's going to be a massive undertaking, but we are going to be pressing forward very swiftly, and we will release timelines in due course. We have some funding already finalized through the Saudi Fund for Development, and we are in the process as we speak in finalizing details, agreements, working through the Attorney General's office and the Ministry of Finance for funding for the remaining airports.
Well, as he also serves as a member of Parliament for Exuma, Ragged Island and the Keys, Cooper says construction is underway for the island's new airport as well.
Many people look at the land side and they want to see the terminal coming out of the ground, but I want to remind people that that's $35 million plus going on the air side that's being done right now. The work on the air side is going to start very soon. I'm hesitant to give a specific date, but I want you to know by the time you come back to Exuma, we are going to see that vertical construction going up.
Still talking news from tourism tonight as Royal Caribbean International continues to progress toward the opening of the Royal Beach Clubhouse on Paradise Island. Officials say they're on target. Delano Roker has this update.
We made the announcement last week. We had our go-to-market on the 12th of December, and we said over the next 12 months, we will open the Royal Beach Club at Paradise Island. So it's a hustle. Like Bahamas would say, we got to make haste.
It is full steam ahead for the RCI Beach Clubhouse on Paradise Island. According to President Philip Simon, the project, that once faced much opposition and criticism, he says, is nearing completion. The mega project also allows Bahamians to have a stake.
I remind people all the time, this is 49% Bahamians, 51% Royal Caribbean. It's a 17-acre development. It did not come easily. Because we wanted to make sure that as many people as possible were going to be on board with the initiative. Economically, we have extended as much of this project for Bahamian participation as possible.
As to the formalities, Simon says that this is a partnership for the government and that the RCI has ensured that they will be following proper development protocol.
We signed the heads of agreement in April of this year. We've signed seabed leases. We've signed the HEAs. So yes, because government is a partner in this, remember.
For the environmentalists who may still be reticent about the development and what this may bring for the vulnerable ecosystem, Simon declares that the Royal Caribbean International has done their research.
We've addressed every concern. If you go to our website, you'll see we did a study on every single thing there is to study there. So, we've made commitments that we're not building overwater cabanas, we're not dredging, all of those things that, persons would have found discomfort with, we addressed. And so it's there. We've been very transparent about it. And so, anybody that still has concerns from an environmental perspective, they're free to come and visit with us. Happy to walk them through everything that we're doing.
Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
Scores of children treated to a kids' carnival over the weekend. It will all thanks to the philanthropic efforts of the Eyewitness Foundation. Jose Etienne has the highlights tonight.
Free rides, free food, and free gifts. That's what thousands of school-aged children had for themselves over the weekend on the carnival grounds thanks to the Island Luck Cares Foundation that helped to bring in Christmas early for the kids.
It's very amazing to be here, and I love that they make it all free so everybody can have a chance to go.
Meet little Laurencia.
It's going good.
Here she is, being the ringleader on one of the rides, but apparently that wasn't her favorite.
Which one is your favorite?
The one with that one with the big circle.
And although 9-year-old Benaya Toot is small in stature, she was daring enough to go for the high rides.
I went on the high one and I wasn't scared.
You having fun?
Yes, it was. It was fun.
The kids got that experience as an early treat just days after most of them entered their Christmas break after wrapping up their end-of-year examinations. And this mother asserts that her daughter's Christmas break got off to a great start.
My child is excited. She's having a good time, and I thank Sabas for doing this. It's very thoughtful, and you gave a lot of children opportunity to have fun.
Takessa Brown was also out to the carnival with her daughter, grandson, and nephew.
It's excellent. Free things, nothing better than that. Island Luck, thank you guys. You made my job easy.
IL Cares Foundation's CEO, His Excellency Sabas Bastian, took some time to chat with us on why he decided to rent out the entire carnival grounds.
A lot of these parents might not have the means to bring their kids to the carnival and give them this experience, and we're just here to put a smile on kids' faces.
But not just that. Bastian says it also helps him to relive precious and unforgettable memories.
And I see myself in the eyes of all of these kids. This used to be me about 30 years ago, running around here trying to beg my mom to let me on one more ride. So I know how it is. I come from a single family home, and it was a sacrifice for my mom to bring me here one time during the holidays. So it's just me living my childhood all over again through the eyes of these kids.
So it's a fun-filled Saturday. Hundreds of children along with their parents and guardians are here on the carnival grounds, enjoying lots of free rides, lots of free food. Now, my cameraman and I, we're here working, but we wanted to indulge in some fun, and we're currently on one of the rides, and we're clearly having a good time.
Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Had a little bit too much fun at the carnival. If you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the IO News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We are just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, a young life taken too soon, finally at rest. We've got that story coming up. And later, if you're still having some trouble finding a Christmas tree, it turns out there's a reason why. We've got more on that right after this break.
This Christmas, stay connected through all the family traditions. Holidaying is unwrapping gadgets, gigs, and gift cards. Sign up for a $64.99 or higher postpaid plan and get a free smartphone. 3 gigs of bonus data for 3 months and a chance to win a $100 gift card. We've got you covered with the ultimate postpaid deals. For more postpaid offers, visit us online at bdcbahamas.com.
Every year, hundreds of drivers in the Bahamas are caught for driving without valid automobile insurance. This isn't just a minor violation, it puts everyone at risk. Investigations into several fatal accidents have shown that some of the vehicles involved were uninsured, leaving victims and families without protection or recourse. To address this, the Road Traffic Act was amended in 2024, introducing stricter measures against drivers who fail to maintain valid insurance. Starting January 1st, 2025, the Royal Bahamas Police Force will enforce the right to impound any vehicle on the road without valid insurance. Vehicle owners must also ensure that anyone driving their vehicle has a valid license and is insured, or they can face charges if any accident happens. Avoid costly fines, impoundment, and the risks of driving uninsured. Together, we can keep our roads safe. Make sure your vehicle is insured today.
The most important thing in life is family, and whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. For 30 years, Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Crunch the holidays with festive buckets, starting at just $20. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
So, who's driving tonight then?
Who's the best driver?
Guess who's driving?
Guess who's driving?
What I don't need all that bread, that don't make a show. Yeah, I like the beach, but I don't go in water. Just grab me a collet, that's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down, oh yeah, oh yeah.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, 12-year-old Adriel Moxie, who was sexually assaulted and strangled to death in late November, was laid to rest this past weekend as loved ones remembered a life gone too soon. Lyndon Ritchie Jr. has more on this.
Sasha Moxie, mother of 12-year-old Adriel Moxie, bid her final farewell to her young daughter almost a month after she was tragically murdered, just steps away from the places closest to her, church, home, and school. Moxie, along with other family members, held back tears as they sealed the pink casket at the somber Thanksgiving service held at Restoration Kingdom Ministries Church. Clad in all black and visibly overwhelmed, Minister of Education Glenys Hannah Martin emphasized that this tragedy forces the hands of lawmakers to ensure child safety and protection remains priority.
The review of our protective policies. This dark moment has exposed the necessity for the implementation and reinforcement of vital support mechanisms and actions for the safety and well-being of children.
Days after that tragic discovery of young Adriel, Minister of Social Services Miles Zarota admitted to the department dropping the ball in the case of Moxie. At her homegoing ceremony, Zarota noted her life was one that should have been filled with light, but instead was cut short.
We got a picture of a young lady that was so full of life. She would be the first one to church, always willing to assist. So excited she was thinking about college as a 12-year-old.
Hannah Martin says this tragedy is one to never be forgotten.
Adriel's death is a virtual wake-up call, a call to action. But sadly, it has come at too high a price.
The ceremony featured a number of emotional performances through singing, dancing, and spoken words. Adriel's best friend Dixon delivered the "As I Knew Her" remarks, solemnly remembering his other half.
Even though you are 1,000 miles away, my love for you continues to grow, as I will be missing you. So rest in peace, my beloved friend. Until we meet again, Adriel Moxie, you will be my best friend for life.
Children and women's rights advocate, Free National Movement Senator Maxine Seymour emphasized that it's time for community stakeholders to put their minds together, ensuring this is the last time a tragedy as such unfolds.
I reaffirm my commitment to ensuring that children all across our country are safe in Adriel's memory, so that Adriel is not duplicated.
A Junkanoo rush out was also held following the funeral service. As for the alleged culprit, authorities say he was scheduled to be transferred from Princess Margaret Hospital to Sandilands Rehabilitation Center as he's shown signs of mental illness. And at this time, they are unable to question him per doctor's request. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
While the Bahamas National Statistical Institute releasing the Consumer Price Index for September 2024, providing insight into inflation and price trends affecting households across the country. The monthly inflation rate in the Bahamas for September remains steady compared to August of 2024, reflecting stable prices for the average consumer. This follows a slight 0.1% increase observed between July and August of this year. Increases were also noted in furnishing and household equipment, which rose by some 3.7%, restaurants and hotels up by 0.6%, and miscellaneous goods and services also saw a 0.5% increase. Decreases included food and non-alcoholic beverages. They were down by 1.6%, health by 0.9%, and education by 0.4% when compared to September of last year. The Consumer Price Index declined by 0.8%. Significant contributors to this annual decrease were communications, which dropped by 5.9%, transport down by 3.7%, and clothing, footwear, restaurants, and hotels each declining by 2.5%. On the other hand, furnishing and household equipment, alcoholic beverages, health, and miscellaneous goods saw increases over the past year, with furnishings rising by some 4.9%. Now, for fuel prices, gasoline and diesel showed month-to-month increases of 2.0% and 1.2% respectively. However, compared to September of last year, gasoline prices did drop by 9.9%, while diesel prices fell by some 6.4%. Now, with the cost of living putting the traditional Christmas turkey out of reach for some households, the Bahamas Feeding Network, in partnership with Royal Caribbean International, stepping in to help. They provided turkeys to families facing hardship, bringing a little extra joy and a fuller table this holiday season.
means the world, especially for those persons who will be receiving turkeys today. They look forward to it. For us, it's just a give back initiative. We take a lot of pride in this, in our community work, in our community efforts. We've had this partnership with the Bahamas Feeding Network for a very long time, and of course, beyond that, with the Bahamas for 50 plus years, we don't get an opportunity publicly to for everybody to see all the things that we do. But this is one of those things where, within this community, we're going to be doing something similar in Grand Bahama tomorrow. But it's a very big deal. It's Christmas.
Well, for the Bahamas Feeding Network, their chairman, Felix Stubbs, says that this will greatly help thousands of families this Christmas season.
For the past 3 years, World Caribbean has been making these significant donations of turkeys that we then give to but people who are underprivileged and can't find sufficient food on their tables for Christmas, especially at Christmas time. And so we have a constituent of donors who are recipients who look forward to receiving these turkeys, because it's the only way that they can have a proper Christmas meal. This year we've got 39 pounds of turkeys, 39,000 pounds. I think that equates to about 2,800 turkeys. So then that means there'll be 2,800 families who will have turkeys on their table for Christmas that don't normally have it.
Well, if you're waiting until the 11th hour to secure your Christmas tree, you may have until the end of the week. At least that's what some vendors shared with our Laurencia Smith as they're detailing what they're calling a tree shortage this year. Here's the details on that.
With Christmas just a week away, the owner of Prince Albury's Christmas tree, who has been in the business for more than 40 years, says that this year he's faced with a new challenge, a shortage on trees. He said in past seasons he brought in roughly 1,500 trees, but this year he brought in half of that number.
I normally do like 400 or 500, just good location at this location. I normally have 2 locations, but this year I just, because of the shortage, I just say let me one location.
Street.
Sales may go in moderately. Comparison to many years, it's moderately.
Despite the shortage, Aubrey remains optimistic that the farm will turn a profit this season. However, he acknowledges that inflation has had an impact on the prices of his trees.
Trees triple or double. Custom duty, same 35%. On the value of Christmas tree. And custom duty comes out after when they add for the Christmas tree, plus the freight, then custom duty take out their 30%. In business, you go in business to make a profit. When I sell it, I try to still keep it within range of, I try to not overprice the market. But
over the past several years, Aubrey revealed that many of his trees have made the more than 1,200-mile journey from the fields of North Carolina to our shores.
No. I had trees starting from around $125, $120, up to $400. 7 to 8, 8 to 9, up to 10 feet. I know how much 6 or 7s. And that's most of the trees that the majority of people would, people would buy. The average people would buy almost anything from around $150 to $200.
There's no official word on when this Christmas tree shortage will end. However, Mr. Prince says he's still preparing for next season to find the perfect trees to bring to the island. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Laurencia. Meantime, 26 new patient care assistant graduates receiving their certification of completion at the Public Hospitals Authority Training Center following a rigorous 14-week training program. Organizers noted that the graduation ceremony, held under the theme Compassionate and Caring, Making a Difference in Healthcare, highlights the important training process that all graduates underwent with the end goal of assisting nurses as they provide basic care and assistance to patients in the public health sector. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville charging the new PCAs to remain humble and empathetic towards every patient they encounter.
It's important because I do go to our hospital and I go to our clinics and I find people who have developed the wrong attitude as it relates to healthcare services. When I became a doctor, I made a commitment to myself and my God that every patient that I have the opportunity to be beside, I will give them the quality of care as if it was a loved one in front of me. And I want you to carry that with you, because you're going to have loved ones who come to these facilities. They're going to come stressed out. They're going to come really concerned about their health. And sometimes their attitude may not be right. The patient attitude may not be right. But you have an awesome responsibility to neutralize that situation and bring the patient back to an element where they receive the appropriate care.
One graduate, Rudy Ann Laramore, speaking to reporters after she received her certificate of completion, emphasizing how the program has advanced her dreams of working in the healthcare sector.
It was intensive, but we made it through. And it's a good opportunity. And I urge everyone, every young person, I mean, if you feel young, you could come and all. But at the same time, it's a very good opportunity. There's nobody who's going to pay you to go to school and give you a sure job afterwards. So I urge everyone in this Bahamas, if you want to be in healthcare, PHA is the way to go. I was always in the healthcare profession as a phlebotomist, but now I'm doing the patient care, and in the future, there'll be more for me, whether it's my RN or even more. We have a lot of persons who has never been in this field at all, and they feel as if it's so hard to get into. You just have to put one step forward, write down what you want to do for all of your goals, and trust me, you will make it through. I urge you, we need healthcare workers. We need them, whether it's from a PCA to an RN to a doctor. But please, guys, I urge you, it's not hard, just take one step and you will be in the door.
Well, the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, also revealing today that the green light has been given to health officials to recruit some 60 more Ghanaian nurses just 1 year after government signed a 2-year contract with 18 nurses for the public sector to mitigate the shortage of nurses in the country. Dr. Darville emphasizing that recruitment letters will be handed out to those Ghanaian nurses in the coming weeks.
Like I said before, there are shortages, particularly in specialty nurses. We have been recruiting in Ghana. We have gotten cabinet approval to bring in 60 new nurses from Ghana that will help the PHA provide clinical services in our theaters and our other essential services. We anticipate the offer letters will go out, and we intend to have them in the first quarter of the year to fill the gaps.
Also highlighting that the public health staff being brought on internationally is only temporary, as the Public Hospital Authority Academy is onboarding numerous programs with the hopes of educating future Bahamian healthcare workers to address the many challenges within the system.
Training is paramount, and as you can see, the PHA Academy is training. We're now starting our training program at Bahamas Baptist University College and Tarif College to expedite the services and hopefully to fill many of the gaps that currently exist with Bahamians while the short-term employment takes place.
So to come in Eyewitness News tonight, it's a local experience. Linton is buying local. He has the details right after this break. But first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Bahamas, we understand your business needs. We remain dedicated to giving you the best experiences for your business's growth and development. Reliable internet speeds for your customers' stress-free online shopping experience. Secure landline connections so your customers and team can always reach you. Exclusive add-ons like website and online store to put your brand on the map as the best. Find more at business.btcbahamas.com.
He hit me. Will CG cover this?
Don't worry. Remember when I was in that competitive arm wrestling circuit? 3-time champion, baby! I did feel bad crushing all those arms and dreams. So I took them all out for ice cream, and then we got crushed. Anyway, CG handled my claims fast.
That explains the arm.
The best cover for the best value. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that.
Janae's Christmas Wonderland with the best selection and prices in town is open under the big tent. Get 20 to 50% off selected Christmas decorations. Restrictions apply. Trees in pink, frosted green or white in a variety of sizes up to 15 feet. LED and laser lights, tree ornaments, lighted angels and Santa tree toppers. Bright, unique and lively colored Christmas balls. Garlands, wreaths, ribbons, bows, snowflakes, puffs and blankets and much more. Add flowers, picks and decorative mesh to brighten up your home or office this holiday season. And don't forget the toys at Janae's Chesapeake Road. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. WhatsApp 817-3295.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
For every shape-up, after-school activity, unplanned home repair, and other day-to-day spending, there's SandDollar. SandDollar is a convenient way to send and receive money instantly. SandDollar is easy to use. It's safe and secure. Just like physical cash, SandDollar is issued by the Central Bank of the Bahamas. And best of all, there are no fees for individuals to send or receive funds. Download a SandDollar-enabled digital wallet and enjoy the benefits of the digital Bahamian dollar. Spend it locally. Transfer it to and from a local bank account or convert it to and from physical cash. Learn more at www.sanddollar.bs.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, a local esthetician is giving our Linton Ritchie Jr. the special treatment. He has more in this feature tonight, Buying Local with Linton.
The latest installment of Buying Local with Linton landed me at Skin Solutions Day Spa and Salon, where their team aims for perfection on every skin, hair, and body of their clientele. Owner of Skin Solutions Day Spa and Salon and licensed esthetician Natilla Saunders gave Eyewitness News a peek at the products what keeps Bahamians' skin glowing.
This is our basic skincare kit. These are the essentials. This would be your cleanser, your toner, your moisturizer, your sunscreen. So everybody should be following this regimen, okay? The key to healthy skin is proper skincare.
Now, what exactly was Saunders' goal of developing her own local skincare line?
There are a lot of harsh products out there, products that are very, very drying. So I wanted to offer Bahamians an alternative, that would hydrate their skin, make their skin healthy.
But Saunders says the beauty empire was not all built in the blink of an eye.
It was quite a journey. I remember having one client every 2 weeks to 2 clients every week to 3 clients a day. So
here's the secret to perfect skin that Saunders believes keeps clients happy.
They absolutely love the products because they're not harsh on the skin. Sometimes clients come in and when we analyze their skin, we find that they're over exfoliating. So these products are very, very gentle on the skin.
And the Daily Spa does not only focus on skincare.
We offer other options such as massages, manicures, pedicures, waxing, body scrubs, body treatments. We have a whole variety of options.
During our visit, my cameraman and I got to see one of the many services the spa offers in action, and the relaxing vibe was there to say the least. For those persons interested in a tranquil spa day or the perfect skin regimen, Skin Solutions Day Spa and Salon is located on Cable Beach west of Bahamas. And to set up a consultation or appointment, you can reach them at 327-0500. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
So to come in Eyewitness News tonight, Laurencia Smith has your latest check on sports. Good evening, Laurencia.
Good evening, Janeo. Well, I spent the weekend covering the greatest show on Sands, the Don't Blink Home Run Derby. I'll tell you more about it straight ahead in sports.
Doctors Hospital is reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
For carpets, bed sheets, and bath mats, there's a place I know. For shower curtains, comforters, and window curtains, only one place to go. Fixing your home or automotive, there's no fuss. We put a smile on your face, come and shop with us. For all you need and more, shop at AID for Christmas.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
It's a different kind of Christmas, but everything is here to bring a smile upon your face. That's what the season brings now. See, Christmas time is the time for your family and friends. Come and shop with us and find everything that you need. Deck out your homes with all we have in store, bringing joy and so much more. At Shop Smarty, at Shop Smart, at Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here at Shop Smart. At Shop Smart, at Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Topping sports tonight, a new Don't Blink Home Run Derby in Paradise King crowned over the weekend at the historic Montague Beach. Dubbed as the greatest show on Sands, Bahamian Chavez Young emerged as the 2024 Home Run Derby champion, becoming the third consecutive Bahamian to own the title. The professional baseball player straight out of the Second City was overjoyed to keep the Home Run Derby King title here at home.
This should like be, I was fortunate, those guys. It's good energy. Then in history, especially if we bring it actually back. Shout out to Bryce, my dog. Shout out BJ. So patient. So it's a blessing to be here.
While Team World fell short in the individual competition, they triumphed in the team event, securing a 52-43 victory over Team Bahamas. Event organizers Todd Isaacs Jr. and Lucius Fox were pleased to see another Bahamian to claim the Home Run Derby King title.
The crown is staying there in the Bahamas. That's what we spoke about before the event. Our very own Chavez, Hollywood Young, who I grew up playing with, kept the crown in the Bahamas, and we're super excited, super proud.
We here. We just had a kid signed today to the Chicago Cubs. So it's something that's happening that's special. It's something that we're responsible for continuing to make better.
Now let's head on over to the pool. The Bahamas national swim team made a splash at the FIN World Short Course Championship in Budapest, setting 4 national records. The Derby brought a number of international players to the Bahamas this year. Olympians Lamar Taylor and Renishka Gibbs, joined by top collegiate swimmers Emmanuel Gaskin and Victoria Russell, all represented the 242 at the swim meet. Taylor led the way for the 4-member team with 3 national records, 2 coming in the prelims and the semifinals of the men's 100-meter freestyle in a times of 46.89 seconds and 46.34 seconds, respectively, for a final place of 13th overall. The University of Tennessee swimmer also set a national record in the 100-meter back in a time of 23.51 for a 21st place and 23.24 in the 50 meters, finishing 39th overall. Meanwhile, Emmanuel Gaskin also setting a national record in the men's 200 meters breaststroke in a time of 2 minutes, 10.49 seconds. The team was managed by Jana Culmer-Taylor. The head coach was Cameron Rooney, assisted by Sarah Collins from the University of Tennessee, and Cardo Bonaby was the psychotherapist. Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
On the river of life, where the open waters meet, we are all free to seek our own path. For some, it is a journey to the edge. For others, it's a pursuit of a mind at peace, distilling precious memories as we float where the tide takes us. It can be expeditions of one or relentless pursuits of what eludes us. It matters not. If you hunt, if you gather, there is a personal journey to find where you need to go, to outrun any ticking clock. Through decades, wave after wave of passing time, Sea-Doo has remained here, making each ride a story. Because life is unscripted, it's as open as the water. You can decide on the ride of your life.
Bahamas, get ready for an unforgettable night this holiday season. On Saturday, December 28th, we're bringing the love back to the city. It's a night of rhythm and blues featuring the one and only K. Michelle.
What up, y'all? It's your girl K. Michelle. December the 28th, I'm going to be in the Bahamas. I'm coming to sing some songs.
Cashmas time, here we go. Mercy's doing it big this year. Cashmas time with extra chair. 12 days of merry winnings from your friends at Island Game. Friends we trust, game we know. Cashmas time, here we go. Prizes and lots of dough. This Christmas, come catch a lick. Put 20 on your account, quick, quick, quick. And you can win some awesome stuff at Percy's Island Game. The most luckiest time of the year. There'll be things that are spinning and cash prizes winning. Just Big Bang is here. It's the most luckiest time. Yes, the most
Christmas and Happy New Year from Island Luck.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Our 12 Days of Christmas continues tonight with giveaways. Tonight we have 2 gifts to give away this evening. One to our first responder and the next for the 5th person to respond to the question. This week's question is, what is the name of the first Eyewitness News weekday anchor? Remember to put your answers in the comment section of the story when it's posted on our digital platforms. And now for tonight's Christmas giveaway, our Delano Roca has the details.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. And for young entrepreneur Jaheem Raming of the Infinite brand, this is his reality.
I wanted to be a videographer at first. I am now, but I started out in photography. I started bringing my camera to school, taking pictures of different my classmates.
To the winner, a professional photo setup with all the lights, cameras, and action of being on a professional set.
The gift card I'm giving away is a $275 gift card. It can give someone a outdoor photo shoot, a headshot session, or a christening session. And when you win the gift card, it's available anytime. You could use it next year, you could use it the year after that, you could use it this year. It's not a time limit on it. So for this gift card, it's just a photo shoot gift card. It's not a video gift card. I do have video gift cards, but this one is just for photos. So you get the full 20 photos back, retouch, edited, all the good stuff.
To those looking for gifts for aspiring models and creators, Raming will be providing a range of gift cards.
So I have 3 gift cards in total. One is $275, one is $375, and the other one is $500. So the 2 that are $275 and $375 are from Infinite Visuals, and the $500 one is from Infinite Productions. Infinite Productions is my videography company, and we provide good quality video for corporate events, regular events. We also do commercials and interviews and talking heads.
Raming says to be on the lookout because for the Infinite brand, more is coming.
This year, I launched my first project called Mothers in Paradise. So next year, I'm going to do that again. And then next year, I'm also going to launch something called Project Infinite. I don't want to talk too much on it, but just know the name. Just remember the name.
Who will be our next giveaway? Make sure to be tuned in. Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
Now be sure to post those answers when this story is posted online. There are some great prizes that we're giving away as we count down to Christmas. Who doesn't want a photo shoot? Coming up in Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller. She's talking about all of today's top stories. That's coming up in Beyond the Headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Public junior and senior high schools are being outfitted with metal detector scanners. The announcement was recently made at a joint presser by the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training in conjunction with the Royal Bahamas Police Force's School Policing Unit.
Today, we launch an aspect of that equipment that we purchased, which is the handheld scanners. The government have invested in those to ensure that our school environment is safe. We don't want to see what is playing out in other communities around the world, playing out in our schools. So we're going to do everything in our power to ensure that.
This initiative is a very great one. These metal detectors will enhance our security. We already have overlapping layers of security at all the schools. This will be an enhancement, okay? The metal detectors will also act or enhance our defense of school campuses. We also would look at these metal detectors assisting us with detecting, okay, Any person who may want to come onto the school campuses to bring any illegal contraband.
Education Director Dominique McCartney Russell outlines a number of other ways the ministry maintains safe campuses.
I thank Dr. Hannah and Mr. Ferguson particularly for the SRO program, because those officers also provide diversion opportunities, prevention programs, and mentoring for some of our children.
See, I tell you, I ain't got nothing. Hey.
I'm Madame Williams for Ed Talk.
Get ready to win Lucky Bucks. Wherever you see this taxi, flag it down.
The boy hard, beating so hard, but I will be hard. What here? I'm looking for my first contestant to ride in the Lucky Taxi. You walk in the taxi, you got to do the Lucky Walk, Oh, thanks. Man, thank you, sir. 85 times 2 is how much, brother? You only win $170, brother.
I never expected to win as much as I win.
Bang along. Very excited when the gentleman picked me to ride inside the taxi.
So if I had to choose a game that would stay, it would be Island of Taxi.
You could be next on the Island Lucky Taxi.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Public junior and senior high schools are being outfitted with metal detector scanners. The announcement was recently made at a joint presser by the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training in conjunction with the Royal Bahamas Police Force's School Policing Unit.
Today, we launch an aspect of that equipment that we purchased, which is the handheld scanners. The government have invested in those to ensure that our school environment is safe. We don't want to see what is playing out in other communities around the world, playing out in our schools. So we're going to do everything in our power to ensure that.
This initiative is a very great one. These metal detectors will enhance our security. We already have overlapping layers of security at all the schools. This will be an enhancement, okay? The metal detectors will also act or enhance our defense of school campuses. We also would look at these metal detectors assisting us with detecting, okay, any person who may want to come onto the school campuses to bring any illegal contraband.
Education Director Dominique McCartney Russell outlines a number of other ways the ministry maintains safe campuses.
I thank Dr. Hannah and Mr. Ferguson particularly for the SRO program, because those officers also provide diversion opportunities, prevention programs, and mentoring for some of our children.
See, I tell you, I ain't got nothing. Hey.
I'm Madame Williams for Ed Talk.
Get ready to win Lucky Bucks. Wherever you see this taxi, flag it down.
The boy hard, beating so hard, but I will be hard. What here? I'm looking for my first contestant to ride in the Lucky Taxi. You walk in the taxi, you got to do the Lucky Walk, thanks. Man, thank you, sir. 85 times 2 is how much, brother? You only win $170, brother.
I never expected to win as much as I win.
Very excited when the gentleman picked me to ride inside the taxi.
So if I had to choose a game that would stay, it would be Island of Taxi.
You could be next on the Island Lucky Taxi.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space? The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Straight ahead tonight, Eleuthera plagued with yet another weekend where utilities were acting up in and out, off and on. Both water and electricity outages made for a miserable weekend. Also tonight, imagine driving along and you meet a pothole that forces you to slow down. And when you do, 3 men appear out of nearby bushes and rob you. It's no Lifetime movie. It happened right here in New Providence at the weekend. We'll tell you about it. And later in tonight's show, areas of Nassau Village have been common in the police report for serious crimes, but it's not deterring Member of Parliament Jamal Strawn, who will join me tonight to discuss just how he's working to change the mindsets of youth in the area. It's all straight ahead for you this evening. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, Eleutherans the island over voicing off all weekend about one power or water outage after another. Throughout the weekend, residents and second homeowners complained of a power outage, power surges in multiple communities, and then compounded by no water. Here's a gentleman giving voice to what many felt.
They should fire the whole, everybody waking the BC. Every one. The janitor, the waitress, the cook, everybody. Fire them or power off again today. Power off last night. Power off this morning. Power off right now. Stinking mother. Yeah, Miss Doggone Supreme Grand Matron. Let this one go.
Well, he couldn't have given too many F's for how the residents of Eleuthera felt. In fact, many are still complaining right now at this hour. And so what is the situation this evening? Joining me from Harbor Island is Quinnell Adderley. Good evening to you, Quinnell.
Hi, how are you, Shanique?
Good, thank you. Do you agree with the sentiments expressed beyond the bleeps from the gentleman you just heard?
Oh, absolutely. Mind you, the cussing had to make me laugh a little bit, but you know, I understand his frustration.
Yeah, many people are frustrated.
I definitely can relate.
Yes, many people. Now, have the water and light been fully restored on the island as yet?
I do believe it has. My water came on today, later this evening today. I my water was restored. But since I think Saturday it was, Friday night, Saturday, it's been tragic. I mean, like, come on, I almost couldn't even go to church on Sunday, and that was a huge thing for me.
So how did you go to church?
The Lord had a word waiting there for me at the altar, and had I not, I had to take the water out of my refrigerator to wait. Okay, so imagine the frustration. It's beyond. And I think he can express completely for everybody. Fire everybody. Just go from the top straight down, shut it down. But the issue isn't even in that. It's like rectify the problem. It's the same thing over and over again. I'm beginning to sound like a sounding brass at this point. Nothing is happening. Do we need to take matters into our own hands?
It's vexing.
It's frustrating. I'm at that point because, you know, the government, if they don't do something, eventually they're going to lose its people, right? And the people are going to stand on their own. And I mean, what are you going to do to me? Lock me up for expressing that, hey, I just want the water that
nobody
I
can fault you or any other resident of Eleuthera, whether it's Harbor Island, Spanish Wells, or further south, from speaking out. I mean, it's 2025, basically. And to see that you had to take a cup of water out of your fridge to try go to church. There's a gentleman, another voice note that went, that cup of water. Another gentleman was talking about the fact that he missed church, so important to him, and he was not able to go. People are extremely frustrated. What other areas were impacted in terms of business, social events that perhaps were scheduled for the weekend?
I can imagine everyone was affected. You know, businesses can't open if they don't have water to operate, especially like kitchens. You know, plenty of people don't cook on Saturdays. So they order their takeout, but businesses, they can't, they lose. You know, power outages, their inventory, they throw out, they lose. Nobody's helping them replace these things. You understand what I'm saying? There has to be a line drawn now. Okay, it's enough talk. We've talked, we've cried, we've begged, and we should not have to be begging for something 50 years in that we should have. I mean, come on, at this point, 50 years of independence, right? We should be drinking water from our taps, but we can't even get water to bathe, but y'all could throw a big celebration for 50 years of golden independence. Where's the golden?
But particularly...
Where is the golden? Help me to understand, help me to understand here. How do we hire a company? We are surrounded by water, right? How do we hire a company to dredge and dig up our water to sell back to us?
You know, I want to ask you.
Make it make sense to me.
Make it make sense is correct.
And then the government is in the contract with this company that they can't get out of.
I don't understand
you
what the contract...
You are asking me to pay you
Go
for
ahead,
my
sis.
water?
Go right ahead, yes. Go ahead. I know you're angry. Talk all you need.
Make it make sense to me.
Make it make sense, absolutely. The company we're speaking about is Aqua Design. This issue has not just come up. This has been an issue now for years plaguing Eleuthera with this one company. Why is it that you feel or think, and the residents there, that any administration appears just incapable of absolutely telling this company to hit the road?
Oh, how do you bury yourself so deep in a contract that you can't get out of? You choose not to get out of it. You choose not to get out of it. And the issue with the water this past weekend is on the prime negligence of the same company that you are in contract with. How is it that you cannot just have gas or a generator to supply the water throughout Eleuthera?
Yeah, I agree with you.
The
After
power
all,
goes off, the generator isn't on to sustain water. So power off and water off.
And water off.
My God,
it made for quite a miserable...
And cable go down too, because then we really back in the Stone Age.
That's the thing.
Come on, when is it going to change? When is it going to stop?
Quinnell, the thing about it is Eleuthera's economy is on the up and up. It is doing extremely well. And for this to continue happening, I've spoken with boutique hotel owners and managers and operators. They too feel the same way that you feel because their guests have had to suffer this weekend. What do you suppose is the fix other than addressing the water issue? BPL too had some issues. Have you heard from, have residents heard from any of the companies in terms of what the failure was this weekend?
I've seen water and sewage issue a notice, but again, we as citizens, we're tired of the notice. We don't want the notice. We don't want the issues. Why do we keep getting the issues? Why do we have to keep getting notices? Why are we here like this?
Yes.
50 years in, why are we still living as a country like this? It's unfair to us. We work hard to supply. Even if they issue the notices, we don't want it. It's like saying sorry 1,000,001 time for the same thing. Aren't you tired of saying sorry? Because we're tired of hearing
the same line. You're right. It was windy, and so the power went out, and the rest of it is enough. It's not Mayberry anymore. It's now 2025. Get it together. I absolutely agree with you. Quinnell, I hope now that, of course, the holiday season is here. I imagine Harbor Island, where you are, is bustling with visitors, and hotels are full. And my God, I just hope that certainly from now through the holidays, that the power, the water can stay on. The internet and the phones.
I pray to God that it does. At some point it has to be about God's people. It's no longer about lining your pockets. It's no longer about red, blue. You could be purple at this point. We don't care. This is a new generation coming up. We do not care.
Well, certainly, I'll tell you this.
We will take you out.
I'll tell you this. If the management of, let's just start, we know BPL's issues, and they have to get that together. But if water and sewage can come and speak with us here on Beyond the Headlines, for the people, on behalf of the people of Eleuthera, to find out why is it that Aqua Design still sits in prime position, collecting major monies every month, or however the payment schedule is, and is failing to deliver the water that the people of Eleuthera need, not desire and kind of just need. It's a necessity. So certainly, of course, that invitation is standing, and we would like to get to the bottom of that. Thank you very much, Quinnell Albury in Harbor Island this evening, speaking on behalf of all residents of Eleuthera.
I don't mean to cut you off, but another thing I want to point out is that I've had somebody say to me the other day, and pertaining to the infrastructure and the utilities concerning these settlements, this island, they said to me that the issue has been rectified. And I'm here to say to you tonight, on live TV, the issue has not been rectified.
Which issue are we talking about? Quinnell?
The water and the power issues. They have not been rectified.
Well, that's
because
obvious.
My water was out from Friday night, and my power was flickering all night. I did not get any sleep.
I tell you, we certainly, of course, hope to get answers for you, and it's something that we are committed to doing here on the show, because Eleuthera deserves consistent water and power supply, and all other utilities as well. Thank you very much, Quinnell Albury, for joining me here on Beyond the Headlines. Listen, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, the Hot Topics panel will join me, and we're going to talk about that, and also robbed by slowing down to try and get through a speed bump. Not a speed bump, a pothole. That must have been some pothole. This is Beyond the Headlines. We're back right after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
For carpets, bed sheets, and bath mats, there's a place I know. For shower curtains, comforters, and window curtains, only one place to go. Fixing your home or automotive, that's no fuss. We put a smile on your face, come and shop with us. For all you need and more, shop at AID for Christmas.
work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
For carpets, bed sheets, and bath mats, there's a place I know. For shower curtains, comforters, and window curtains, only one place to go. Fixing your home or automotive, that's no fuss. We put a smile on your face, come and shop with us. For all you need and more, shop at AID for Christmas.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, we're going to get right into some hot topics discussion. Of course, the situation in Eleuthera is really no smiling matter. It's an island where the economy is booming. It has record number of airlifts and visitors and second homeowners and also people renting Airbnbs. And so certainly the utility issue there must be addressed with some permanent fix. We're going to get into that this evening to get an initial response and then move on from the Hot Topics panelists. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Leslie Miller and Ellington Ferguson. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you.
Good evening, Shanice.
Good evening, Shanice. Good evening, Bahamas. Certainly it's a pleasure to be here once again.
Good to have you both. Listen, this weekend, it's almost like I was in Eleuthera because I watched from comment after comment throughout the weekend. And I wondered really what was happening in those platforms, only to find out that there was just a major utility failure, in fact, across the board. Gentlemen, what do you think needs to happen? I mean, here is an island where, we need to kind of encourage the ongoing growth there and cause additional growth to happen. But it certainly cannot happen with this ongoing failure every so often.
Shanique, to begin with, this whole situation caught the government of the Bahamas, and I'm not talking PLP or FNM, the government of the Bahamas was caught off guard with the growth and development of the island of Eleuthera. The island is growing tremendously. The economy is expanding and growing, and unfortunately, because of a lack of vision, lack of preparedness, the government of the Bahamas was not prepared to embrace all that is happening on the island of Eleuthera at this present time. However, that being said, there is either a don't care or a lack of willingness, lack of vision to have this situation resolved. We have gone through the entire 2024, and if my memory serves me correctly, it started prior to 2024 and 2023, where these people on Eleuthera has been going through this ordeal. My God.
Oh, it's been before then. Ellington, you're late to the party. I remember when Adrian Gibson was chairman of Water and Sewerage.
Well,
I think it was
correct.
minimum 10 days that there was a water outage.
Now that you mentioned that, I do remember that, yes. And so, I mean, what is it, number one, about this water company? Who they're tied to the hip with that we can't dump them, get rid of them if they cannot deliver? If you can't deliver potable water to the people of Eleuthera, please, the government need to remedy that, need to deal with it ASAP. The power, come on, man. We've got to do something in the present. Whatever the long-term plan is, something needs to be remedied in the present to handle that, to take care of this situation on Eleuthera. No power, no water, no internet, even all of the cables and everything off over the whole weekend. That is unfair. It's not right as we seek to build these economies that these islands does not have to be so dependable on no providence. As we seek to develop this country, we got to have a better plan than this. We've got to do better than this. These are people, these are real life people, both locals and foreigners alike, that seek to make this beautiful island home. We've got to deal with this post-haste. This ain't something that we could roll out next year in one of our grandiose plans and say, look what we're doing. These people need some attention, and they need it like yesterday.
It's unfortunate that this situation has occurred so often in Eleuthera, because Eleuthera is such a prosperous and upcoming island. The economy is booming. A lot of construction work is going on. The minister had indicated that they had the matter under control, especially with the light. But bear in mind, it takes anywhere from 6 months to 9 months to procure an engine of the size that they need for Eleuthera, on where they could have refurbished what they had. But it does take a long time. As far as the water situation, God knows what is going on with that private entity. As you said, you wonder who they're tied to. You have a contract that supposedly is unbreakable. There's no such thing as an unbreakable contract. If you can't supply such a needed item, then you shouldn't be around there. And they've been there for at least 30 years, and they're still there. So let us hope that the new year would bring some form of urgency to this matter, and that these blackouts and the lack of water is a thing of the past. I don't understand why it can't be done. Just have to send the right team to get it done. I thought that Pike would have been there by now, and their team of experts, and BEC got experts there themselves, to sort out the water as far as the electricity problem. I just think it's a matter of staying on top of these situations until they are completed to the satisfaction of all concerned. And being a tourist-oriented economy like Eleuthera and Harbour Island, it's imperative that these things are done now, because the season is upon us now. What's going to happen in December, January, February, when you're really full? Notices are full and you cannot have these problems anymore. They must be dealt with now. So I'm hoping that the minister would step to the plate. He's responsible for BEC. No, he's not. She is responsible for BEC. And you have the other minister, junior minister now, who's responsible for water and sewage. So each of them have a hell of a role to play in getting the country back to normalcy, that people could appreciate, that they are welcome here, and that the infrastructure is sufficient to support the amount of work that is going on on the island of Eleuthera. But enough is enough. I think they've reached a breaking point now.
They've been past the breaking point.
They've been beyond that, and you're right, Leslie. I'd like Leon Lundy to come sit next to me. I mean, Leon Lundy, I've reached out to you quite a number of times, and you've not responded, or you've sent someone else. He sent someone else. I think Eleutherans must hear from you. They must hear from you.
He's the minister responsible.
He's the minister responsible. Come sit here. Come sit here. Let's talk about what the plan is moving forward to address that water issue. It's important that it happens. Gentlemen, meantime, listen to this. A man who slowed down his speed, trying to gingerly drive through a pothole, was robbed in what? Roll with me, please. Jaden, roll, pay attention. What appears to be an ambush. Well, tonight, an investigation is underway into an armed robbery that happened on Sunday. A roll, Jaden. What happened? Sometime around 7:30 in the evening in southern New Providence. Now, police say a motorist was robbed by 3 gunmen as he attempted to avoid the pothole. Here's what happened. According to preliminary reports, the victim was driving in the Bonefish Pond area off Cowpen Road when he slowed down to avoid a pothole. At that moment, an unknown male armed with a firearm emerged from nearby bushes and, according to police, approached the victim's vehicle and held him at gunpoint. In addition, 2 other men appeared from the same area, blocking the victim's path, while the gunman robbed him of an undisclosed amount of cash. The culprits then fled the scene through the bushes. Police want you, if you have any information that would help authorities solve this matter, to give them a call at 911, 919, or the Criminal Investigation Department at 502-9991. Again, 502-9991. Furthermore, anonymous tips are also welcomed through Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. 328-TIPS. Gentlemen, that is stunning. I have never heard of that happening in our nation. A gentleman stopped to try and get through the pothole, and obviously was of a good size for him to have to slow down.
Guys, watch some of his movies, man.
And here it is. These people waiting there to catch this person as they must slow down, came out of the bushes and robbed this man. That must have been so frightening. But it's just really a serious state of what's going on in this nation, that people can't drive wherever they're going to their destination and get there safely.
You know, Shanique, it's a serious matter, but it gives you a little bit of humor with it. And as I study the history of the Bahamas, you know, that's how we thrived back in the day. You know, pirates would put fake lights up at certain places and run the merchant ships aground on the sandbanks or on shoals and stuff like that, and then rob them. That is a classic example of what is happening.
A Lifetime movie.
Yeah,
a Lifetime movie. These soldiers get caught right up.
So we've got a message got to go, and we talk about crime prevention. Message got to go out that I know plenty of persons, including myself, damage your vehicles dropping in these potholes. You don't see them until you feel them. A lot of them. I mean, I drove someplace where the speed bump had a pothole in it. I mean, come on, man. We've got to do a little better with these roads.
Minister Wicks, you better step to this lake.
Our roads.
No, but they've been. Hold
I see them doing some stuff.
Yes, they
I don't think it's happening fast enough. It's terrible. Our roads are terrible, man. I'm going to tell you straight up. I think the minister have tried to do some stuff, Minister Sweeting, but the infrastructure in this country is terrible, especially on New Providence. I'm not sure about many of the other islands, but New Providence is terrible. It's falling apart. I think we got to pick up the pace to get our infrastructure, our roads in better working order, because in some places, the road, it looks like a quilted sheet. The patches. Come on, after a while, you can't patch that, man. You got patch. It's expensive, but I think, Leslie, it's more expensive every month when it rains to go back and put a couple of guys around there and patch it. I think that is more expensive. If you have to cut out a whole section, repair that properly one time, and let's move on. Okay? Because we're wasting our resources with all these little beady. As a matter of fact, in a lot of the roads that I see sometimes, it's more damaging when they got patches. You bumping all over all these patches as you go. It's putting pressure. We have to pay. We have to pay twice to purchase vehicles in this country. We pay twice. Whatever it costs, where we're getting it from the U.S., by the time as we get it here and sit in the seat to drive our vehicle, we would have paid for it twice. We have high costs of insurance, high costs of fuel. At least help us to keep our vehicle in good running order. Okay, please, government, help us. We need you.
It is most unfortunate that the gentleman was robbed at gunpoint, I guess on a deserted road in New Providence. I was so happy last week that no one was killed last week. I thank the fellas for giving us the privilege of having our country safe for a week. I hope that's not an omen for this week. But it's really unfortunate that someone could be driving a car, dropping a hole, and a guy running the bush with a gun in his hand. Man, for Christ's sake, how low can you go?
Horrible.
with this crime situation. You know,
Criminal looks for opportunities, man.
And every time you think you're moving up the hill,
these
you're
guys
coming
think
back
like
down
they're
the
in a
hill.
bonanza, like on remember Bonanza and stuff like
Pirates.
that. Like
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Like I don't get it. Like it's no laughing matter either.
This is real life.
What it is, and in this holiday season, what are motorists to do as they drive home in the evening or in the day? Because that's sort of an isolated area, and it doesn't even have to be so isolated. But what should they do when driving and they happen to meet a pothole? I mean,
this is happening regularly now. You remember the lady last week?
What happened last week?
Who got robbed in a similar fashion? She was on the street and the fellas just stop her.
Yeah.
Remember last week? An incident like that happened.
Yes, a lady
on West Bay Street.
West Bay Street, that's a high trafficked area.
They got to stop.
Yeah, crime certainly.
Life, getting people to break this Christmas coming.
No, crime is a matter that must be addressed. We know that we are anticipating the incoming Commissioner of Police. She got to come on ready. Yeah. Don't come there trying to go and pay courtesy call to everybody under the sun in Nassau. Don't do that. Incoming Commissioner Shanta Knowles.
Yes,
no, ma'am. You got to get there and show that you and your team are serious about putting law, order, and peace back on these streets.
And don't let them fellas push you around either.
She ain't gonna do that.
Okay? Don't let that happen.
She's ready for it. I have
some of them you try the luck,
She's ready.
Got to send them packing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got to show respect.
Absolutely. Listen, gentlemen, the government's push to finalize the transition to a bi-weekly pay system is facing growing pushback as union members raise concerns about what they say has been a lack of transparency, while some workers say they have been left in the dark on crucial details. A former labor director is praising the move even amid the uncertainty surrounding its implementation. We get the story from Laurencia Smith, and then we come back and discuss.
As government works to iron out the details of its plans to roll out the bi-weekly pay cycle for government workers, former labor director and unionist John Pinder is weighing in. Pinder says while he supports government's intention to transition public servant workers to a bi-weekly payment schedule, he emphasized the need for careful execution to ensure a smooth process.
I think the challenge is most civil servants have monthly commitments, and they have to now discipline themselves to ensure that they meet those monthly commitments. My recommendation to them is if the government and the unions agree to the bi-weekly payments, they will then have to sit with the payroll office and determine when they want the full monthly payment to be paid. This is an advantage to them also because they pay their monthly commitments 2 weeks in advance as you keep them ahead of the payments, and they'll be able to save some fund at the end of the day.
Back in June, during the budget, Prime Minister Philip Davis revealed government's plans to transition to a bi-weekly pay cycle. Now, government is presently negotiating with unions on the implementation of the bi-weekly pay system for all public servants. Pinder also voiced concern about whether government employees will be able to manage their finances effectively under the new pay cycle, stressing the importance of proper budgeting to ensure financial stability.
The more money you spend, the more you pay for goods and services. So they're not going to exploit the civil service by giving them more money, knowing that some of them are not disciplined enough to manage their money even monthly, much less bi-weekly. So I think this whole thing needs to be probably thought out. I think there needs to be some bit of advice given to the civil service by way of some level of
Meanwhile, the Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson has expressed deep concern and frustration over what she says is government failure to provide answers regarding its proposed plan to switch teachers to a bi-weekly pay cycle. Wilson condemned the lack of transparency, says that government silence on the matter is unacceptable, leaving educators in a state of uncertainty. She stressed that teachers deserve respect and clarity, especially when it comes to decisions that directly impact their livelihoods.
So many civil servants have contacted me over the past few days, expressing their frustration, their displeasure, and their opposition to being paid bi-weekly. As for the Bahamas Union of Teachers, from earlier this year, we conducted a survey, and our members who participated in the survey overwhelmingly voted not to be paid bi-weekly and for their salary payments to remain monthly.
Wilson also alleged that Financial Secretary Simon Wilson has not been forthcoming with information about the proposed switch and has called for Minister of Finance, Prime Minister Philip Davis, to intervene. Well, in response to Wilson's claims, the Minister of Labor and Public Service, Pia Glover-Roll, noted that the Ministry of Finance is expected to meet with the unions on Tuesday, December 17th. She further stated that if there is verifiable facts that employees are against the move, she's certain the government will be prepared to comply with the public service wishes. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, gentlemen, I don't see the row there. It doesn't even need to be one. The minister, Pia Glover-Roll, really just listen to the union, pay the people monthly, because this is an unnecessary row. You agree?
Absolutely. I don't see all of this big hoorah and national news about this. If people sufficiently want to remain on monthly, communicate that with your union if you're part of a union. And if they says no, then let's continue. And I heard the Minister of Public Service kind of alluded to that. If that's the way the people feel like they wanted to remain monthly, let them remain monthly. They let them communicate with their respective union, and their respective union have the discussion with the government. Of course, I'm sure that the government is still open to discussion. It's not finalized yet. I don't see the big hullabaloo. I don't see where it makes all of this sense. I mean, if you get, if, for example, if I have $100 a month and you give me $50 2 weeks and $50 the other 2 weeks, or you give me the whole $100 a month, I don't see the big deal. Many Bahamians get paid every week. Some Bahamians get paid every 2 weeks. Government people get paid monthly. I mean, I don't see where the national news part of this come from.
I think one of the problems you're facing really is the weekly, the worker that is still on furlough, the worker that's not in the government system. Mm-hmm. I can tell you, most of those persons who work for government and get paid on a monthly basis that only make that small salary. The landlord wants his pay every Saturday. So every Saturday morning, he knows if you can't pay me today, you ain't gonna pay me at the end of the month, and I want my money Saturday morning. I can tell you, in all of the areas that I've been in, mm-hmm. they want their money. So I can see why some of the low-end people are saying, pay me so I could manage, I could buy groceries for my children. I got to send my kids to school, because not all of them are permanent
in the same category.
And pensionable people. Many of them are not. You'd be surprised. People that I know 10 years still aren't pensionable and permanent. It's unfair to them.
Yep.
Now, the argument that the lady has, the president, she always got a problem. I don't understand why they should have called a meeting among all of them, but remember, that's only one union now. Mm-hmm. The public service has many different unions. Mm-hmm. that cover an umbrella. She's the only one that's complaining on her crew. She just well make up her mind, if you're going in politics this time, get you the nomination run, and then see how it feels if you win or lose. But I think it's unfair for those persons who are really in need of getting that salary bi-monthly. What is the big deal? If they have a situation where they need the funds to pay the rent man or to pay their expenses that they have, if the government won't, I guess maybe they should have a choice. You can go bi-monthly or monthly.
Well, I don't think it needs to be as sloppy. Just simple as this. Those who are those low-income earners fall in that category of look at Justin and listen to me, the host. Listen and fall into that category of obviously being not permanent and pensionable. Then they should be paid bi-weekly, and the rest remain as is. Listen, gentlemen, I want to talk about what's happening in Haiti. We'll do that tomorrow. Hopefully, we can also have the Pastor St. Louis join us as well. Certainly, and we will look into that. It's a very serious issue that's happening. Absolutely. But I don't want you to go anywhere, because when you come back, we talked about crime and so much happening in the nation. Nassau Village has had its fair share this year in particular. Member of Parliament Jamal Strawn joins me to talk about what he is doing to lead the area out of such a negative narrative. Mm-hmm. He's back with me right after the break.
He's been doing a good job, Shanique. I'm very proud of him, and I look forward to hearing what he has to say. Very impressed with the work that he's doing there.
This fella, what's his name? The pastor.
St. Louis.
Bahamas, get ready for an unforgettable night this holiday season. On Saturday, December 28th, we're bringing the love back to the city. It's a night of rhythm and blues featuring the one and only K. Michelle.
What up, y'all? It's your girl, K. Michelle.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. If we can go up to the third segment, please, I'd like to officially welcome in the Member of Parliament for Nassau Village here. He's here really to discuss some very, very important issues. You all know that Nassau Village has gained a reputation for being one of the most challenging areas in New Providence, constituencies even. Crime and social issues are the order of the day. You may recall at the beginning of this year in particular, scenes of crime was a regular thing. Member of Parliament Jamal Strawn is not content to let this status quo continue. He's determined to change the narrative of Nassau Village. Good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to welcome you here for the first time. How are you doing?
I'm well. Good night, Shanique. Good night, Nassau Village. Good night, the Bahamas.
Yeah, listen, let's begin by talking about the issues that plague Nassau Village. You heard me talk about what's been happening, and I know it's really all too frequent in your area that you hear and receive the same reports that we in the media receive in terms of violent crime, etc. Describe that and the challenge in trying to sort of address that and help steer that around. Leslie, we can hear you here live.
Well, Shanique, actually, the constituency as a whole has been experiencing a downward trend in crime itself. I know about a few instances that happened retaliative, but nothing to the point that the stigma, that age-old stigma of Nassau Village, the community, is still prevalent. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I have prided myself on was disruptive measures. And that's what I was talking to you about earlier. The only way to curb crime is to disrupt it. And that's why we have the one-of-one state-of-art community center.
Well, I want to take my time in speaking to you. I don't even want you to rush through what you've been doing because you've really gained a reputation, quite frankly, and you're being recognized nationally. It's quite stunning for making that difference in trying to change the narrative of what's happening in Nassau Village. And what you've done for the first time ever, and people don't even see it as, whoa, that belongs there, but you've taken a state-of-the-art community center into Nassau Village. How do you suppose and actually want that and envision that making a difference?
Well, the only way to change the paradigm with the generations is to impact them from a very young age so that they become and develop into productive citizens. So the issue that I had when I initially became the Member of Parliament was that I didn't have a place, an edifice where I could run my soft programs out of. So I wanted to bring in men leadership, female leadership, but there was no place that I could run a consistent program for 3 to 6 months so that it's sustainable but also impactful. So I knew that the infrastructure itself had to be created.
So this was born out of your desire to, not in the short term with maybe something at the weekend or maybe a day seminar. You want to have, as you're saying, 90 days at a time, like sort of something that brings the residents in and begin to truly make a difference in the mindsets of persons who would walk through those doors.
Yes. One thing that the young persons in the constituency say to me is, Mr. Strawn, you grew up on Soldier Road in Red Lion Acres, right? There's nothing for us to recreate on. So we constructed a sports facility in Red Lion Acres. The young people in Nassau Village said, well, Mr. Strawn, they call me Mali, only the park we have. And nobody likes to always play basketball. You have creatives, you have songwriters, you have playwrights, you have persons who tend to recreate differently, and they always wish for some place to convene and converge. And that is what that building represents, an inspiration and hope.
It absolutely does. Before we move on, let's just talk about what else this wonderful, again, it's known, it even supersedes you, the reputation of this multi sort of facility that you've built in Nassau Village. What else is it going to have there that people can take advantage of and become empowered by?
Well, I'm also the Parliamentary Secretary of Foreign Affairs, and I pride myself on world issues. We already know that the Bahamas is impacted by climate change. So I said to myself, what happens in the eventuality that a climatic occurrence comes from the south? Do we have the resources in place? Are we prepared? Can we respond? So the community center is actually a hurricane shelter that will sleep comfortably 250 persons with handy capability. It has the only elevator on the southern side of the island in a government facility. One of one.
What a vision
That is amazing, and that you've taken this vision and set it right there, smack in the middle of an area like Nassau Village. Really says a lot for how you see the people and the potential of the people there.
Yes. The thing is, you must give a person something to believe in, right? If I give you something beautiful, something authentic, you start to feel prideful about it. You start to cherish it, and by extension, you start to change your view on what is acceptable and what's unacceptable. The reason every Sunday Bahamians used to clean their yard was because persons used to come around, and if your yard was dirty on a Monday morning, they used to shame you. So if you're feeling as though broken windows here, dilapidated buildings there, just run down. You don't want to be in a residence like that.
No, or you adopt what you are surrounded by. Listen, you also are keen on a number of the programs that you're going to be sort of facilitating out of that community center is this. You want to get residents of Nassau Village and have them fit in or get in where they fit in in terms of employment. First of all, what is the unemployment count or the current statistics, if you can say?
Well, the reality is that I've found that the majority of Nassau villages are actually working. The issue is the pay and competitive pay. I find that most of my constituents need supplementation. They need a night job. They need a secondary job. So I would say employment throughout the whole of the constituency, because Nassau Village community is just one community in a wider constituency. And that is inspiring, but also it puts me to task, because what I saw also with the community center, because I went to school in Baltimore, the ability to generate revenue in a residential area. So what you will find is the creation of murals. And I've been talking to have even tours possibly come for urban tours in those communities, just like they have in Columbia. And then you find that your small shop vendor, your vehicle washer, your tart, your coconut tart man, your shell shop, everybody starts to benefit, and the community creates its own self-sustaining economy off of one government asset.
That is awesome, because somewhere like Nassau Village, I think the nation can root for you in that. It's an area that if people don't have to go there, they shun it. It's not sort of the most appealing area just based on its reputation. But to see for now, and I give that to you. And I was about to say, to see the work you're doing to change that by changing the people who call it home is the most amazing thing to see. And you're not just trying to encourage them by beginning to think of areas that they can become self-sufficient. You also want to say, once you've achieved this, now, how do we give back?
Exactly.
Talk about that aspect of it.
So I've been approaching Nassau villagers who have made it. DeAndre Ayton is a Nassau villager.
Who's this?
DeAndre Ayton, pro basketball player. Born and raised on the western side of Alexandria Boulevard. I've reached out to businessmen who have done well and moved out. And you start to see some remittances. You start to see persons wanting to support a band here, or wanting to support some soft skills initiative. But they say, Jamal, build it first, and then we'll support it wholeheartedly. So that is my task within this term, to construct it, let it be bold, let it be in your face, so that there's no denying that this constituency is completely revamped.
That's really awesome. And what is what are people saying? How are people responding? Again, that you've made headlines really for that community center that's going up there. What is the sort of, where is it in terms of completion?
Well, actually, we have a soft opening this weekend. So we roll out staffing within early next year. But that was a commitment that I made. Oftentimes, the government starts a construction project and doesn't finish it. This will be our government's first major project that has started within 3 years and will now be completed, usable, and also functioning. I just feel as though when persons look at the community center, they feel as though they can continue to believe that their residence in their community is being developed. And that's all I want. From Charles Carter all the way to Dion Smith and now to me, I feel as though there's a baton There is a standard, and I'm just carrying that standard forward.
I think you've run and you're sort of headed to, like, you're looking at the finish line and saying, hey, guys, come, let's do this. You know, the real issue, though, is how do you get many of the people who are not quite the law-abiding citizens who make up Nassau Village as well, how do you get them interested and in the doors of that community center to take advantage of all it'll offer?
Well, actually, I've found that most persons who find unique ways of generating income have daughters, have sons. They're family men, above all. And they would like an environment where their children don't necessarily have to follow the path. So that is first and foremost. A Christmas play, you tend to bring your son, your daughter. Summer camps, you tend to bring your son and daughter. And by extension, you enter those doors. You start to appreciate what's there, and you start to have a paradigm shift.
And those people that want to obviously have safer communities around them because their sons and daughters are sort of in that center, calling it home, doing their homework and learning a skill, a trade, etc. Let's talk about building leaders. This isn't something, that topic is not something you hear that is attached, again, to an area like the one that you serve. How are you planning on ensuring that people understand that, listen, wherever you are, you can start right there by being a leader, and then the importance of leadership?
Well, I welcome all young people to get involved. Every single time I talk to a young person, I always ask them, well, when was the last time you came out to a meeting? Why not come out and serve breakfast on a Saturday? Why not get a philanthropic touch so that you could understand that there are people in need, serious need, and it sensitizes you. And then by extension, you start to cultivate that spirit of leadership. Every great Bahamian leader had a genesis, some cause that they fought for that they saw every day. Look at it. Majority rule, women's empowerment. Everyone simply walked along their day and disagreed with the status quo from a young age. At 30, I entered politics at 33. I'm now the youngest member of parliament at 36, a backbencher who has delivered. And I mean in a very visible and tangible way. So I say to young people, use me as the inspiration. Use the party as the inspiration. I will give you your chance if you want it and if you're willing to contribute to your own development.
What do you want the men in Redland Acres, in Nassau Village, and those other areas that make up the entire constituency to learn from your story, the one that you shared just a little bit just now?
Well, first and foremost, I want the Redland Soldiers B groups to win. I think we have a good chance. I think Phil the Bill. He's running an amazing program out of there, and I will continue to support him. So to my Redland boys, we still in it.
Chunk of the season, yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So what I want the young persons to understand is look at my story. I am just like them. My dad was a bus driver. My mom drove bus for him. He was a Kid Island man. My mom was an Androsian woman. We come from humble beginnings, but we all have stories of endearment, of perseverance. Let me being able to serve breakfast out of a red cooler with 2 volunteers inspire you to ascend to the heights and be unapologetic about it. Be bold. Step to the forefront. We say this is our country as the young generation, but our forefathers and our forebears want us to show and not just pay lip service. So I say, show me what you're into. Show me what you could do, and let's work together to achieve it.
And of course, we know that 2025 is sort of this year that stares the next election in the face. Jamal Strawn, what are your plans to continue doing the work you're doing? You didn't just start. Again, you are one of those members of parliament that your reputation is solid and it's set. A number of people have followed and see the work that you've been doing since being elected. But what else do you plan on doing to sort of let the people understand that, you know what, listen, we have done a lot, but we have so much more to do, and you want to be the one to help them get it done?
We have miles to go before we sleep. We have to continue to toil in the vineyard and understand that nothing is going to be given. That's a MO, a modus operandi, that I hold true when I engage my constituents. I never rest on my laurel. I work with my team. You will see me lifting tables, because if you can perceive your leader working hand in hand with you, you will go the extra mile. You won't be tempted financially and monetarily. You will be inspired to effect change or continue to support someone whose change is blatantly apparent. This isn't the time to roll the dice. We have a lot to accomplish. We have a community to save. And the constituency is comprised of Nassau Village proper, Gleniston Gardens, Hope Gardens, Montego Estates, and Red Lion Acres. And each one of those communities have strategically...
Have they felt you?
They have projects.
Do they see you?
Now, what we will say is that this year is pure engagement. I will continue to be on the ground because it's an expansive constituency, and we will continue to push it. There's no getting away from door to door. Leslie Miller has always said it. There's one thing to make posts and get 1,000 likes and get voted out by the end of the day. I don't want to be the statistic. So if they haven't seen me as yet or as much as they like, they will begin to see me even more because the goals have already been achieved. They have already been set and they're already running automatic. So back to the ground, back to the people who matter, back to listening.
Now, on Saturday, for the soft opening of this much talked about community center, give the residents, your constituents, an idea of what they can expect, as obviously you want them to be a part of it.
Yeah. Well, what they can expect is 3 large conference rooms, computer labs, walk-in showers, handy-capable wheelchair access.
Oh, handicap accessible as well?
Yes, upstairs and downstairs.
Very good.
And what I noticed was that the urban renewal that's in Nassau Village is tucked away at a very poor place in the back. I want that to be on the main strip where you can access it and really tap into the resources, whatever they may be. So we're in discussions to relocate that office. You will have an edifice that you can tap into, but also the branches of governments available to you. And that's all I believe constituents and Bahamians want. They want a government that's accessible and a government that works for them.
What time is your event on Saturday?
It's on Friday at 11.
Friday?
Yes.
Friday at 11.
Yeah.
And give them an idea exactly where the community center is?
Well, it's a soft opening. It's a very soft opening. The grand day will happen next year when we staff it and everything. But I think that ownership starts with viewing it. Ownership starts with feeling connected to it. And it's not my center. It's all of our centers. So that's all I want to impact. From Gleniston Gardens to Nassau Village to Red Lion Acres to Montego Estates.
Look right here and speak to them, right there.
Right there, that one? Gleniston Gardens, Nassau Village, Hope Gardens, Montego Estates, Red Lion Acres. We all have collective ownership of this asset, and this will be the turning point and the instrument by which we save our generations.
I thank you very much, Jamal Strawn, of course, the Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but in this instance, the Member of Parliament for Nassau Village, making an impact out. You don't speak loud enough, but your work speaks for you. Many people have been talking about what you've been doing there and the turnaround that you're actually, in progress that's happening, and keep it up because it's necessary for an area like yours, the one that you represent, to actually get back where it needs to be and headed in that trajectory. It's super important for the better of us all. And so thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Looking forward to discussing more in 2025, certainly. Thank you for joining us. And I want to thank, of course, at the top of tonight's show, Harbor Island resident Quinnell Albury, who talked about the utilities failure there this weekend. Of course, in the middle of the show, Leslie Miller and Ellington Ferguson. And right here next to me in this segment, Jamal Strawn, the Member of Parliament for Nassau Village. Thank you once again. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in this evening. Certainly enjoyed having you along and look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited, Eyewitness News, and Beyond the Headlines.